Alright, yeah, and welcome back to some more Magic Duels. This week we're taking a look at a mono-green Stompy deck. If you haven't seen the deck tech, be sure to check it out. But without further ado, let's get into the game, shall we? See you there. We're in and we're on the draw. This hand's pretty crappy, in all honesty. It doesn't really do much. This is much better. If we get a land as well, it's especially good. So we've got turn 2 Duskwatch, turn 3 Nissa's Pilgrimage. If Duskwatch has flipped by that point, and we've got a Sylvan Advocate, which is awesome. Yeah, if it's flipped by that point, then Outland Colossus will cost 4. Which would be great. We're playing against red, though. Against Arcana, rank 24. Jace. Jace sucks. We don't have any way to interact with him at the moment. Now we do. Wonderful. Shall we Duskwatch Recruiter? If we can get him to flip the Recruiter, then missing a land drop isn't a problem because we can play Nissa. And it's potentially going to happen that way. I was going to say, what are you doing? Thanks to the priority bug, we know he's got no sorceries in hand. GG, development team. Fiery Temper, I'm going to blow away our Duskwatch Recruiter. Okay. That's fine. Hides the true beauty of the Sylvan Advocate and the Nissa. So if we play a land, do we want to Pilgrimage into Colossus next turn? I think we do, don't we? If he's playing the burn game, then let's provide him with some creatures that he cannot burn away. He could also be playing the bounce game though, so there is that issue. But we'll see. If we get you down on turn 5, or 4-5, sorry, then the next turn we can likely get Nissa down and maybe even get her to flip pretty soon. We've got the Advocate as well, that by 6 lands should be a 4-5. He's going to discard. What's he going to discard? Is he trying to do madness mechanics, I'm assuming, by that little snazzy play there? Just a catalogue. Yeah. Well, a discard spell in his draw likely indicates that he's going to go with madness stuff. Ulamog, didn't want to see you. Well, let's Outland Colossus. If he doesn't block it, it becomes a 12-12. If he doesn't bounce it as well, there is also that. And we can Rabid Bite away his Jace. He could also be doing a lot of discard stuff to hopefully flip Jace sooner. Right, probably going to see a Just the Wind here, I'm going with. Fiery Temper. Okay, well that's 3 damage. Oh, he has Fiery Impulse. Yep, cast it. It's fine. Well, we've got a pulse to get it back, so 2-for-1ing our creature is pretty good. If he's a Storm deck as well, he'd be losing out on Steam. Though, with that in mind, Jace will flip next turn if we don't kill it. So, is this 7 or more lands? It is. Okay. We're on 6. Well, in that case, Sylvan Advocate, Rabid Bite the Jace while he's tapped out. Kill his Jace. And then pass the turn. We've got a decent toughness creature here, so yet again, he's likely going to have to, unless it's a lightning axe, he's going to have to 2-for-1 our Sylvan Advocate again, which will leave him tapped out for our Nissa to flip, and also pulse back the Colossus. Tempo-wise, we're leaps and bounds ahead of him, I think. Though, never underestimate your opponent. Especially when he's in the think tank. Telling time. Look at the top 3 cards. put one of them in charm. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. One of you mentioned that you'd like to see the cards that they're playing a little bit more often, and it doesn't occur to me some of the time, but I shall make sure, when I remember at least, to show you what they're playing. Okay, well, we're going to Nissa. That's going to grab us a forest. Bit of deck thinning there. It's likely going to get burnt away, though. Yeah, twin bolt. Okay. Well, we can pulse it back. And it can flip the turn after instead. So, play our land. We'll swing for 4. He stopped us doing damage all this time, so I applaud him on that. I'm expecting some sort of tutelage to come through, because I'm struggling to see his win condition here. Other than burn spells to the face. I mean, all of his burn spells have been able to target us. So maybe he's a Pyromancer's Assault build, potentially. That kind of deal. If he wants to Fevered Visions, I'd like that. Yeah, Geist Blast again. And a Fiery Impulse. Okay. Every single creature we've had has been a 2-for-1 to him. So we're going to Pulse. We're going to get back Nissa. I think it's a pretty good card advantage. And we'll have Ulamog soon enough. Based off that. If he's going for a burn strategy as well, we've just gained 6 life. Tireless Tracker. We can play both. So we're on 8 mana now. Nissa can potentially ramp us closer to Ulamog. So let's Tireless Tracker. Get a forest. It's going to get us a clue token. And it's going to flip Nissa. Nissa can plus. Potentially get us another land, which is another clue token. I'd like a land, really, I think. Or maybe a big creature. A land is nice, though. Sweet. That means Ulamog next turn, doesn't it? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, it does. Ulamog takes out 2 of his lands, most likely. And that's just going to be the game at that point. Our opponent's just been throwing burn spells at our creatures instead of at us, so... Chandra! Oh, Chandra's going to die. Can guarantee that. Ooh. Let's sack a clue, because we can. Question is, do we want to exile Chandra away? Do we care that much? Ooh. Ulvenwald Hydra. That'll be able to grab us our Rogue's Passage. Make Ulamog unblockable. Okay. I feel like attacking his lands with Ulamog. Because if we attack his lands, then it's less likely you can get Chandra to flip with fewer... less mana to do what he wants with. And honestly, I don't think I care if he flips his Chandra anyway, because he's not going to be able to do much. So I'll take out some of his lands. Yeah, okay, continue playing. He knows it, I know it. Might as well swing in with our Tireless Tracker. Yeah, I don't think our opponent can literally do anything at this point. Maybe if he has a straight run of lands and some sort of bounce for Ulamog, but once he bounces it, we take 2 more of his lands. So we've just got this in the bag. Fairly easy match this time. Our AI is now in the think tank. Avacyn's Judgment. Tap it! Tap it! Alright. AI, you had a trigger there. Okay, well... Ulvenwald Hydra goes and grabs a Rogue's Passage. It is a 12/12 in its own right. Oh, it's tapped in it. Ah, never mind. Well, plus Nissa, because we can. Elemental Bond. Too little, too late, my friend. Oh, we might as well... Actually, we might as well not play it. because we can get more sack triggers from the clue tokens. Fill our hand that way instead. So, sack, sack, sack. While he's tapped out and can't burn our creature away. Nexus Renewal seals the deal. Oran Reef Hydra seals the deal. And Explosive Vegetation makes the Hydra even worse. Awesome. He's going to deal 1 damage to Nissa before he goes out. Ta-ta, Chandra. Okay. Well, we have 30 damage on the board. Can he stop any of it? No, not the Nissa. I could honestly make it more, but let's not run this out any longer than it has to. Let's just swing in. 431. And no deck for our opponent. He's not allowed one. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next game. And we're in, and we're on the play, and everything here is far too expensive, and we only have a Nissa, so I'm going to throw it back. We have ramp. It's still pretty much the same bad hand, just with more ramp, so I suppose thinning out a deck probably would work out fine in this case. Our opponent is rank 27, called Thursday, and he's on red. Okay. Red tends to be a good matchup for us since most burn spells don't touch our creatures. Or most of our creatures. Mono red. It's probably red green werewolves, judging by this guy. It could be red. Mono red aggro, to be fair. I haven't seen it in a while though. Tireless Tracker. We're going to hold off a turn on the tracker, because if he's running burn then we just lose the tracker with no value. So I'd rather play him on turn 4 under those circumstances. It also means we can crack the clue in response to burn as well, now that we've done the ramp. So it's mono red aggro then. Expedite gives it haste and draws a card. Okay. Tekken 4. Yeah. Right. Well, that's Tireless Tracker. We have some nice creatures coming up though. And then we'll do that. Have ourselves a Clue Fiesta. Zadar's Commando. Do 1 damage to each opponent, but he needs allies to do that, so I mean it's a 2/1 first strike for 2. I suppose in the scheme of aggressive creatures it isn't too bad. And then this is why I don't zoom in on cards, because it just takes them away from you at all times. Okay. Well, we're gonna block 1. Actually, we'll block the werewolf. And then Fiery Impulse in response. Yeah, well, we're going to have big creatures soon. And there ain't going to be much you can do about it. And in fact, this one only gets bigger. I don't think he's running out of steam as well, so I don't think he's going to be able to. And with the pulse, it's just. It's going to be hard for him to come back from this, I think, unless he's got something super big to deal with it. And we'll get Rogue's Passage, since we don't have one yet. And we have ourselves a 7/7 reach. So I think we'll first take out the Lava Step Rider, since he can pump it up. And, of course, it will be swinging into us forcefully. So So we're taking 4 here, and then we can pulse back and gain 6. Okay. Well, we're going to gain 6 anyway. So I should have blocked one of the 2 ones in hindsight. Well, specifically the Zada's Commando, since this one can do damage to us. Infectious Bloodlust. He's empty-handed, so we're working with perfect information now. Oran Reef Hydra. So that's going to leave us with 1 mana up, 2 mana once we play. If he hits any burn spell though, we're in a bit of trouble. So maybe I'll go with a Colossus instead. Play a land, and then we can pulse in response to any of his burn spells. That should do it, in theory. Unless he's got more burn. So he's still coming in with both. I mean, with this one being forced in, then it's pretty much a good idea to do so. Okay, so we're taking 2. We're going to hold up this pulse forever in response to his burn spells. Forever. Because I don't want him burning me in response to me pulsing. It could in theory kill us. Not right now technically, but I mean, we've got a Hydra coming down, so... And the Hydra will allow us to leave up our pulse again. And we can start making that super big and trample through as well. So let's get in with the Colossus. Let's make it colossal. And if he doesn't get rid of it, that's going to be the game, most likely. Because we can Rogue's Passage it to make it unblockable, and then we've got the 7 trample. We have the pulse up to gain 6 life whenever we want and get back a big... reachy, massive creature. Infectious Bloodlust. Okay. I'm going to block with a Hydra. I really don't care. Technically I have to block with a Hydra to not die, in his eyes anyway. I'm aware it dies. But we can Nissa's Renewal as well. Let's gain 7 more life. Play a blocker or you're in trouble. You're in trouble, sir. Okay. So let's make sure that, yeah, we have pulse open. So let's gain our twin ball. Anything else? Nope. Right, we're gonna gain 7 life. And then we're just going to swing in for 12. We win next turn. Did our opponent intentionally disconnect there to not lose coins? I didn't notice. So he didn't ask me if I wanted to continue or not. So I think he probably pulled out his Ethernet cable. Smooth move, I suppose. Okay, right. Well, we win. Reclamation Sage, not that we need it. Swing in 412. I love this deck. It seems to be really consistent with pulling out big creatures. Alright guys. I forgot to mention actually, if you want your deck to be featured next week for the subscriber deck, then be sure to send me either in the comment section below, by email or on Twitter. Up to you, whichever one is fine by me. If you've enjoyed the content, then make sure to leave a like. If you've loved the content, then be sure to subscribe. And if you're not quite sure, stay for the end card, see the rest of the content we've got to offer. As always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.